Today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to step inside the mind of a master psychologist, but he wasn't a doctor. He was a poet. We're diving into the incredible work of the Victorian writer Robert Browning.
But let me just start with a question for you. What if a poem could do more than just, sound nice? What if it was actually a key that could unlock the deepest, darkest, sometimes terrifying thoughts of another person? What if a poem could let you listen in on a murderer's confession?
Well, believe it or not, that's exactly the kind of thing Robert Browning did. We're talking about a guy from the 19th century, right? And he was an absolute master at getting inside the heads of his characters. He basically pioneered a new way for poetry to explore the human mind.
You see, a lot of poets write about their own feelings. Browning, his genius was the total opposite. He stepped aside, he created these incredible characters and just let them talk. And wow, did they talk. They would reveal everything about themselves, their ambitions, their fears, and sometimes their most chilling secrets.
So, the big question is, how did he pull it off? How did he create these psychological portraits that feel so real? Well, he had a secret weapon. It was this literary device that, he didn't invent it, but he perfected it like no one else. It's called the Dramatic Monologue. Now, don't let the name fool you. This isn't just some long, boring speech. No way. Think of it like a moment of pure drama, frozen in time. You have one character talking to a totally silent listener, and as they talk, we, the readers, get this incredible, unfiltered look at who they really are. Okay, so it breaks down into 3 key parts. First, you've got a single speaker. And remember, this is not Browning himself talking. It's a character. Second, there's a silent listener, someone who is right there in the scene but never says a word. Their presence is what gets the speaker going. And third, and this is the absolute magic of it, is what we call the unintentional reveal. The speaker is trying so hard to make themselves look good, to control the story, but in the process, they accidentally spill all their secrets and show us their true, often flawed character. And honestly, there is no better or more chilling example of this than Browning's most famous poem, My Last Duchess. So let's jump in and see how this whole thing works in action. So the poem kicks off with this line. You've got this powerful Italian duke, and he's showing a painting to a guy, an envoy, who's there to negotiate the duke's next marriage. Right away, we, the reader, become flies on the wall. We're basically eavesdropping, standing right there next to that silent envoy. And as the Duke starts talking about this painting of his late wife, he begins to complain about her. He says she was too friendly, that she smiled too much at other people. You can just feel the jealousy and this terrifying need for complete control in his words. It becomes clear he didn't want a partner. He wanted an object, something he could own. And then we get the punch to the gut, the chilling reveal. As he's trying to explain why he was so unhappy with her, the Duke just casually drops this line. He says he gave commands, then all smiles stopped together. Chills, right? He basically admits, without actually admitting it, that he had her killed. Why? Because she didn't act exactly the way he wanted her to. This is that unintentional reveal we were talking about in its most powerful, terrifying form. So, just like that, through his own words, the Duke's true nature is completely exposed. We see it all. His arrogance, this insane jealousy, the way he sees women as just possessions, and this cold, controlling mind hiding behind a mask of sophistication. It's a brilliant, brilliant illustration of just how powerful the dramatic monologue can be. But look, the Duke was just one character in Browning's huge gallery of complicated minds. He used this exact same technique to explore all kinds of different psychologies. And his range, wow, it was just incredible. In one poem, Porphyria's Lover, you're in the head of a man so obsessed that he kills his lover just to freeze a perfect moment in time. Then you have this massive epic, The Ring in the Book, where he tells the story of one murder from 12 different perspectives, making you question what truth even is. And then there's Andrea del Sarto, where you feel the quiet desperation of a talented painter who feels like a failure. Every single poem is a deep dive into a different mind. So, what's the takeaway here? Why are we still talking about this guy today? What's his lasting legacy? To put it simply, Browning totally changed the game for what poetry could be. His deep dives into the human mind, his perfection of the dramatic monologue, this stuff directly influenced pretty much all of modern literature. He showed future writers that a poem didn't have to be about grand battles. It could be a stage for the much quieter but just as intense battles happening inside our own heads. Look, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Robert Browning taught poetry how to explore the mind. He gave it the tools to really get in there and dissect a personality, figure out motivations, and question morality. And he did it all by letting the characters hang themselves with their own words. And that really leaves us with one final, kind of unsettling thought. Browning cracked open the minds of his characters for us to poke around in. But it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If our own inner monologues, those private conversations we have with ourselves all day long, if those were turned into poems, what truths and what secrets would they reveal about us?